And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the ESL Open Cup Asia, papi, number 241. I'm of course VIP. With me, I will eventually be joined by the one, the only, the Yaku of the Zaku. I'm sure I'll be joined. But we are jumping in to a broadcast for the first time in a long time. It's been a week full of EWC. We've been co-streaming EWC for the past week. Now we can finally cast some StarCraft. I'm running on fumes. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep, so it's been it's been a wild night. It's been a very, very intense night or week of StarCraft, I should say, and I've yet to fully recover, but we're getting there. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO, the most honorable of monorables. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura. Here we go. If you're in the chat, exclamation mark be in the chat. Oh my god. If you want to have a look at the bracket, exclamation mark be in the chat. Alas, the bracket is stacked full of so many players, and as you can imagine, this is going to be an interesting tournament just because many of the top players are, of course, traveling. You got players like Solar, players like... God, I'm blanking out already. It's only 4 hours sleep. Players like Solar, players like Dark, players like Hero Classic, Bjorn, Kior, and many others have all been traveling over to EWC. Alas, they are not available at the moment for ESL Open Cup Asia, as they are mid-flight or even still yet to flight as well. As a result, we're able to showcase some of these other players that have yet to travel, that have stayed at home and are ready to take the championship themselves. They're ready, man. They're ready. Oh. Meanwhile, speaking of, to have Azura opening up with a Twilight Council back at home. Twilight Council before expand. Okay, Azura, we're cooking. Dark Shrine? Dark Shrine? Oh. With a Twilight Council this fast, I'm leaning towards a proxy Dark Shrine, but we'll keep an eye on Azura. Meanwhile, across the map. Oh, right, predictions should now be closed at this point. Should be closed. Best of luck in the chat. With your Gamba, papi. Best of luck. Fumes, and there it is! It is going to be the Dark Shrine. Okay, the Dark Shrine is not proxied, it's back at home. Again, you don't rush into a Twilight Council this quickly without good reason, so it has been thrown down. Dark Shrine is on the way, Pylon has been thrown down as well, and we'll see if HonMonO can survive the nonsense that's about to occur. Because this is straight up nonsense. Speaking of nonsense, thank you so much to Monteon in the chat. Oh my god, for the 10 gifted subs. That's a lot of subs, papi. Thank you so much for the support. Gracias, papi. Gracias, Monteon. Thank you so much for all that you have provided. Of course, all the money that we make here, all the support that we get, does go straight towards our tournaments. It allows us to actually do this as often as we do, able to cast on a daily basis. So thank you so much for the support. Gracias, papi. Thank you. Do appreciate it. As we're popping off and getting to our first game, Adept does shade away. HonMonO behind this did open up with a 2-1-1 variation. And if we mule a little bit too hard, that could be the end of HonMonO, as the Dark Shrine is about to finish up and the first wave of DTs are on the way. They're gonna be on the way. Again, thank you so much for the support. Meanwhile, the Marines, they're hunting, they're looking for any stray units. DTs are waddling on in. And have we noticed? Do we realize what's going on? No scan available. There's a little bit of energy. We just muled the natural base. DT does not waddle in. We do barely wall off in time. HonMonO has noticed, but again, HonMonO needs time for that scan. The boys are being pulled. We go for the Marines instead. We get one Marine so far. Ooh, scan will shut down the first DT. And it was just no, get out of here. Second DT does waddle in. Second DT does waddle in, and we're going to be able to get even more damage done. No SCVs, but we are getting Marines. Value nonetheless, and back at home, we're double expanding. Back at home, we have our natural. We're getting to our third base as well. We are settling in. And the DT even escapes. It waddles away. Does manage to barely waddle away outside of range. Just making sure the turret doesn't catch it. And HonMonO behind this is settling into his third rack. So okay, we're looking at the units lost tab. There we go. It's been a week. It's been a week. That was 7 Marines. 7 Marines, 1 SCV. Not bad damage for 1 DT. Bear that in mind. The second Dark Templar is still alive, and we're following this up with a Blink Stalkers. Blink is now done. We only have a handful of Stalkers that are going to be nibbling away at the front lines, getting an SCV. Just 1 SCV for the time being. Stim is going to be baited out. Ooh, not quite catching much of anything. We do have the Adept being shut down in the main. Is cleaned up. And from here, we can come down a little bit. We can settle it into our would-be 3-base economy. Again, Azura was quite greedy behind this, taking that third base. We have Charge on the way, Forge on the way for +1. Azura is settling in. And HonMonO did miss his timing. Again, ideally we did want to move out with Stim, but we have been kept back at home because of the DTs, and now we're just waiting for our medevacs, waiting for our wave of tanks, and then we should be moving out. And we have a Raven. Means DTs won't be the answer to this army. Not this time. Speaking of... Oh! Calm down. DT does stay back. Spotter pylons on the way. And can Azura survive the eventual move out? I mean, Charge also going to be amazing in this kind of situation, but do we have the production? Do we have the economy to really sustain that? We're still only on 3 gateways, so we can only warp in 3 zealots at a time. The main army is spotted, and that's a lot of Marines! That's a lot of man with gun. Yeah, DT goes down. We scan, we confirm the saturation at the third base. HonMonO does find the proxy. We'll clean it up. Likewise, Azura moving out. Gateway's gonna fall. Azura trying to meet the army as well. Tank is on siege, but is that enough zealots? The star stepping is good. We do have the anti-armor missile as well. Does connect all the stalkers. Yeah, and Azura just doesn't have enough to really contest against this. Not in a head-on fight. I do feel like HonMonO could try to keep chasing, but HonMonO is going to back off. He's going to take the third base. Behind this, we have our Ghost Academy. We have extra Raxes on the way. HonMonO settling into his own 3 bases. Meanwhile, Azura gets away with a 4th. I do feel like HonMonO could have counterattacked, but Azura is able to take a 4th base and take the expansion. And is able to at least repel that push. Oh, he wants the Raven! Up! He wants it! He's not gonna get it. Not enough Stalkers, not enough shots. The Raven barely survives. Stalkers get the hell out of there. More DTs coming. Jesus Christ. More DTs coming in. There is Blink. Okay. We have a Blink for the Dark Templar. The Raven moving out for a counterattack, which means DTs have potential. They do blink into the main. Oh, the snipe! Snipe shuts him down. Likewise, Raven across the map and making its way towards the 4th base, towards the 3rd as well. Finally, HonMonO getting some damage done across the map. We're getting some. And HonMonO with his auto starter ass getting 3 probes. Okay, not a bad start. Getting 3 workers, keeping Azura's attention back at home. Zealous and Stalkers race back. But yeah, HonMonO's been taking a more passive approach here as he's going to be able to hold on to his 4th, but has yet to move out. I mean, skipping the initial 2-on-1 timing makes sense, but at this point we've reached, a higher tank count, higher ghost count. But we have still yet to pull the trigger. And Azura still maintains map control. Maintain it. Oh. So it's ready to dive. Once again, more probes falling down. Do fall to the auto turret. And behind this, Azura getting into 2 more robos. We're still lacking splash damage. This is why I'm really concerned about an eventual move out. Azura is still stuck with purely a gateway army. DTs, Zealots, Stalkers, and head-on fight. I don't think we can really touch HonMonO. But that will change once we get to Colossus, once we get Disruptors. Once these robos get up and running. We can actually start to keep up and pose a threat. Until then, though, there's the big window. There's a window where HonMonO can move out and attempt to end the game. I am concerned. So we've gotten 8 probe kills so far. And here comes the move out. HonMonO finally going to be pulling the trigger. Bearing in mind he has 1-1. He has how many Marines? We have 41 Marines, 5 tanks as well. That's a lot of tanks, Papi. That's a lot of tanks. As he moves out, DTs waddle in. We do spot them. We attempt to take the 4th base. Zealots, they race back home. And we're making 3 Colossus at a time. That's a lot of Colossus. We don't have them yet. Zealots, they crash in. So far, we're getting on top of the Marines. Big tank volleys going off. And we get EPs on those Stalkers. It looks like we should shut down the Gateway Army. Here come the Colossus, just in time. We have the overcharge. Oh, we just need 1 extra wave of Zealots and we can collapse on this army. Yeah, the tanks are exposed. We're going to be able to shut them down. Every tank going to be going down. HonMonO does get the base, but was this worth it? He lost 5 tanks. Oh, can we get on top of the Colossus? We're going to try. And it looks like we will get on top of 1 Colossus. Not even the Colossus does live, does survive. And Azura barely will take the fight. We were cutting it close. Look to the east, and the Colossus, they arrived. Oh my god. Azura holds on. Behind this, we can see HonMonO just scanning, checking for a 5th base. There is none. So HonMonO does have the greater economy, that is true. Does have the economy. Blackware still building up. Building up his tank, his Viking count this time. 2nd starport's on the way. Water Tartaras is continuing. Shout to HonMonO. Keeping this Raven tucked away. Also, I do apologize for, I mean, not dropped frames, but, I guess dropped frames in-game. There has been a bit of latency going on. I do apologize for that. I can't really do much. What can I do? What can I do? But from here, HonMonO, he's going to calm things down. We're on 4 bases, and we're going to be, I imagine, just chilling back at home until we max out. And even though Azura did barely survive, Azura is still not quite out of the woods yet. Disruptor production has begun. How many disruptors do we have? We have 5 already. Oh my god, that's a lot of disruptors. 5 disruptors here for Azura. They can pop off. HonMonO is working towards Liberator production. You can see the Ghost Academy, sorry, the Fusion Core on the way. That is going to be for Libs. Until that does occur, HonMonO is moving out with his army once again and will deny the 5th. Base goes down. Main army is spotted. And we need those disruptors. Nice CMP on the DTs. Nova goes off. Decent connection. The second one does whiff. Now the Nova goes off and does catch 2 ghosts. Very nice connections. And we have 2 Novas left. They're going to be going off and they once again will connect. HonMonO taking a lot of damage, a lot of hits. Yeah, and he's bleeding out too much. We rotate on over. We take down the base once again. We get a snipe on the Nexus. And we're going for a Doom Drop into the main, doing whatever we can to try to slow the army down, keep it at home. But after this fight, Azura can counterattack. We get the Forge, Azura rotates into the main. And Again, we're just trying to buy as much time as possible. The army's pinned back. Behind this, HonMonO expanding once again. Oh, can we get the planetary? We should have a scan. There we go. We're fine. Yeah, we barely do have the scan. Never mind. Do we come back in? Up! No, we get it! No! We get the CC. 4 DTs in a dream. 1 scan is not enough. The base goes down, and again, HonMonO's army is lacking a little bit. What I will say, though, is that we have libs on the way, right? Liberators. Freedom is about to arrive, and with freedom, we can, again, take better engagements. We can force the Protoss army to kind of transition out of this ground toss into sky toss, or a heavier stalker count. Oh my god, what are we... As Disruptors took the hell out of here. I know what we were doing out there, but it's fine. It's fine. We're back home. Did you pull back? Just... As here we go, Liberators have arrived. I do apologize, I do see people noticing the stuttering that's happening in game. I can't really do much about that. It's just connection to BNet, baby, smooch. Like the stream itself is fine. It's just connection to StarCraft, basically. As once again, the army's going to be engaging. We can see HonMonO, a lot of his supply is still tied up across the map in these Liberators, in these drops. But Azura is pushing in. And as you mentioned, once we get these Liberators out, it's like, what is the answer? We go for the dive. Oh, we don't get them. Oh, good God. The Liberators survive. Stalkers get punished. Rotating over, going for the base. We're going for the planetary. Planetary does go down. But again, Azura cannot push into the main army. Oh, let's go. The anti-air of the libs. Gets the Phoenix. More Liberators across the map. Oh, this is getting impressive, actually. We're making more libs. 3 at a time. We're denying mining at the 5th. We're denying mining at the 4th. Azura's being starved out, and HonMonO is maxed. And we just dragged the army in. We dragged the army into freedom. And here comes the move out. Again, HonMonO is maxed. We have a mass amount of bio. We have more Liberators. How many do we have? 15! 15 Liberators here for HonMonO. We take down the base. Azura cannot touch this army, at least not when these Liberators are involved. Gonna be rotating over. Libs have to keep up. Up! Libs go up. Big connections. And Azura at this point, going for a base trade is probably the best choice to avoid those Liberators. I say that they're back at home as well. They're everywhere. They're at home, they're across the map. They're denying more mining time. We snipe a Colossus. Yeah, and I'm not so sure we can stop HonMonO. Not anymore. He's getting out of control. I mean, Azura did hold his own for a very long time. And even had some good fights. Especially with those 3 Colossus, but was unable to close it out. And HonMonO has reached his final form. Like, he's getting into 3-3 upgrades. We have mass range libs. Oh god, and pushing up this ramp is not gonna be pretty. Don't push in. Oh my god. We hold the line. And there just aren't enough Stalkers here. Yeah, libs, they clean up the ground army. GG gets called, and HonMonO takes game number 1. GG. And again, I do apologize for the stuttering in game. Ideally, that will clear up as the tournament does progress, but I can't really do much about it, unfortunately. Smooge. Sometimes the connection to Korea is just a little bit shaky. I can't really do much else about that. But regardless, GG, well played. HonMonO does take the first game, and with that, we'll take a lead in the series against Azura. Again, after the series, we'll be going over the bracket itself, going over the rest of the matches. We'll get there. We will get there. Someone was asking about Yaku earlier, and yes, Yaku will hopefully join me later on in the broadcast. Yet to be determined, though. It sounds like Yaku has some PC issues and is resolving them. And once he does, he can jump on, he can hop on and join me for the rest of the broadcast. Until then, though, gonna be solo casting. Until then. And we're jumping into game number 2. Again, that was a wild opener. As a reminder, it was a Twilight Council before expand into a Dark Shrine, into a proxy. A crazy start from Azura. Almost did work, almost. He had his moments. But now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkion, we have our South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Italian Protoss player, the pink Protoss representing Ping Pong Exports. It is Azura. I also apologize if I sound a little bit out of energy or a little bit drowsy. If you can hear me slurring my words a little bit, I did notice it myself. I am running off of like 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Unfortunately, basically, obviously I stayed up for EWC, we were co-streaming, but after EWC, I had to stay up even further. I was having some internet issues last week. The internet was dropping consistently on a daily basis. It was brutal. It was brutal for the past 2 weeks. It looks like it has since been resolved. Basically, the technician arrived today, so I had to stay up. For this. Fun fact, EWC ended like at 6 a.m. my time, and the technician was scheduled to arrive between like 8 a.m. and like midday. So I had to stay up. Did arrive, and apparently there was some issues with the connections like out on the streets. Apparently there was like a car accident like a month ago or something, a month and a half ago, and it did affect like the area, and not everything was fixed up, so we had to call them up, and they got around to it, and apparently everything's fixed. Apparently the internet should be stable from here on forward, but we'll see. This is our first stream since then. But because of that, I didn't go to bed until 2 p.m. and the cast is at 7 p.m. So, what I can promise though is I'm gonna sleep like a baby after this tournament. It's gonna be so good. I'm just gonna go right to bed, pass the hell out, and never wake up until tomorrow's ESL Open Cup America's cast. But that is going to be the plan, is to get some patch, to get all of the patch. Until then, it is going to be a gate expand. We do have our gateway to Cybergore into expansion here from Azura. This time, no crazy opener, no faster tech. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener, but very different to what we saw in game number 1. Likewise, HonMonO back at home is opening up with another 2-on-1 variation. Okay, with a Rax expand into our factory, into our second Rax. As a reminder, initially HonMonO was going to go for a stim timing in game 1. He was delayed because of the DTs. He was stuck back at home. But now things are going to be a little bit different. Now HonMonO can actually get into his own build. We can actually settle it. Speaking of, there is the starport. So yeah, straight up 2-on-1. We're going for a 60 Marine Stim double medevac timing. This is a build typically reserved for Zerg players in TvZ, but is sometimes seen against Protoss. We have seen Maru, Bjorn, and all of the other Korean Terran players mix this in every now and then. This was very trendy at the start of 2023. There was like a couple of month period last year where we would see this rise in popularity, and then it died out like after a month or two. But it was really cool to see it in its time. And now we see it again. After quite a bit of a hiatus. There we go, Blink is on the way. This is going to be a Blink-based opener here out of Azura. And we'll see how many gateways we commit to. For now, it's just going to be 2 gates, so it looks like 2 gate Blink into a third. Very macro opener here out of Azura. Makes sense considering that we are, of course, loading into Aptione, one of the more macro-oriented maps in the map pool. Base has been taken. We're calming things down, and it's going to be HonMonO being the aggressor. We spoke about it. Stim is about to finish, and we have not quite 16 Marines, but close enough. We're moving out across the map. We're going for our drop. The Adept did miss it. And Azura hasn't seen much of anything in the main. We are a little bit in the dark here. Azura doesn't have the Zonaga either. And with that, we have completely missed the move out. We have an army to work with back at home. The shield battery at the third base isn't quite done. We could try to force a cancel in the third, but no, we're going straight for the main. HonMonO diving straight into the main base instead. Going to be unloading. What do we go for? The tech, the economy. A little bit of both. Depowering the gateway, depowering the Twilight Council. And we do pick off one of those stalkers. Oh! Blink does not quite punish, and HonMonO will get the hell out of here. And this Stim timing was a little bit lackluster. Sure, we got a pylon, but we didn't get much else. For the most part, Azura was able to respond. So that did minimize losses, and now HonMonO has to get the hell out of here. Behind this, we're still building up a greater bio army, getting tank production. That was a lot of Marines. That was 6 Marines for a pylon and a stalker. Now here comes the second wave. Azura does have the Zonaga, does spot the move out. Azura knows and will respond. His goal here is to force a Stim to delay the push. Gets a Marine. Gets 1 Marine so far. Extra shield batteries on the way. Oh, that's a lot of fire. The boys have been pulled. Oh my god. I wasn't quite expecting that, but the boys are here. Of course they are. It's HonMonO we're casting. Oh, it's HonMonO. The boys have arrived. The tanks are getting within range. That's Noto's pylon. And we shut down the shield batteries. We evacuate the third base. But HonMonO, he doesn't just want the third. He wants the kill. He wants the natural. He wants to go for Azura. Whilst this is out, tanks are slowly sieging forward. Marines take down the third base. Tanks are getting within range of the wall. Actually going towards the main. Okay, going for the Twilight Council. The Twilight Council is exposed. We see Azura trying to set up us around, trying to catch reinforcements. And we'll catch them. Meanwhile, eBay on the way to create some SimCity. Cybercore goes down, but charge is done. If we had denied charge, that could have been game. We are warping more zealots. Disruptors on the way as well. We can see Azura going for a counterattack. Alas, we have a tank, we have a bunker, and we should be okay. Now we get the Twilight Council. Azura still amassing an army. Recalling back home. Oh! Get a medevac. Not bad. Oh, what are the SCV? I'm like, the boys are up here as well. My god. But now we have a disruptor as well. Azura, he's a little bit more prepared for this. Is supply block though. Heavily supply block. Oh. Second Colossus is about to pop out. Dropping back into the main. We started +1. Nervous going off. Massive connection. Oh my god. And we've stuck around a little bit too long. Azura is swallowing up this army. The Stalkers, they don't trade too well. And oh my god, the tanks hold their own. Okay, we're holding. The tanks staying their ground, dropping into the main. Only 2 Stalkers. Recalls on cooldown. And HonMonO even saves the tanks just barely. Diving into the main base. We turn back around. We get a Colossus. Oh my god. One Colossus goes down. Can we get the other? He wants it. He wants the Colossus. Up. Up. Oh my god. And he's going to get it. One more shot. Both Colossus go down. Yeah, HonMonO popping off. Back at home. We're still building up an army. And now Azura's in a lot of trouble. I'm a little bit afraid to look, but I believe, yeah, the disruptor went down as well. We lost the disruptor, we lost both Colossus, we lost the 3rd base. A bunch of tech. And this means that Azura's army is now much weaker here in the main move out. With the follow-up push, we have 1 Immortal, that's the backbone of the army. We have 1 disruptor on the way. We barely have anything, and we catch the Immortal. Release trigger the shields. Scan reveals the new 3rd. HonMonO making his way over. Does rotate. And tanks are sieging up. Oh my god, the mineral line! Oh, Jesus. We get 9 probes. The rest do barely escape. Nova goes off. We get on top of the base. Yeah, the Nexus is going to go down. Once again for a 2nd time. Likewise, Azura catching reinforcements, at least attempting to. And I understand that HonMonO is being cautious, considering, I mean, Azura's potential with his army, with those disruptors. But I do think that HonMonO can rotate and push into the natural itself. For now, catching Zealots. There are TCs on the way. Despite HonMonO going for the 2-base all-in, despite pulling the boys earlier, we have been able to build back up. Getting to a 3rd. Rotating over, going for the 3rd base of Azura. Thanks to siege. There he goes up. Now back up to 1 Colossus. Oh my god, and we are setting up a Tomb Drop. Okay. I mean, there is the Spotter Observer, thankfully. Main army is spotted. We do have a recall. A supposed to drop. We don't have a warp in. We have 2 Zealots. We have 1 Colossus waddling in. But again, we have to be so careful with that Colossus. Diving on the main army, getting some Marines. We'll clean this up. Oh my god, we shut down the bio. And we cleaned up every single tank. This Doom Drop was not it. It was not it, Pappy. Oh god. A very efficient fight here for Azura. The Archon's doing an amazing job of just tanking those shots. Colossus cleaning everything else up. HonMonO plummets in supply. And suddenly, Azura's back in this. HonMonO is taking a 3rd, that's true, but economically with neck and neck. Army supply wise, we just lost how many tanks? It's like 5 tanks, 4 tanks. And now Azura has a pretty solid robo-based army. Disruptors, we have Colossus. 3rd base back up and running. We got this. HonMonO is struggling a little bit here. I mean, behind this, HonMonO is getting into a 4 CC. It's on the way. 3rd base is going to be a planetary. We have a sensor tower, missile turrets. Lid production is on the way with that fusion core. Now, what I will say is that ideally a Protoss player wants to be up a base compared to a Terran to be even, and the 4th base is just now on the way, so HonMonO economically is actually in a slightly better position than Azura. But the main army, that's what I'm concerned about. Now, when it comes to my concerns, as we saw in Game 1, we need an answer to the Libs. We need an answer to these Liberators. As the Lib count is going to get higher and higher. And we're just now working on the upgrades. Double Forge on the way for 1-1. We're going to be trying to rely here on these Blink Stalkers. And there it is, we're making 3 Liberators at a time. That's a lot of Libs. That's a lot of Libs, Pat. Prism gets found. Prism is found out. Azura has yet to really move out across the map. I mean, pushing up a ramp into a planetary, into tanks, it's not going to be easy. Azura for now sharking around. Looking for the main army. Libs once again coming in. Have a Liberator towards the south. Main army, we do at least keep up with it. And we get 3 more Libs towards the natural. But Azura is going to be able to respond. Yeah, we just brute force our way in. Archons, they can tank some Lib hits. It's okay. They can tank the Libs. Meanwhile, we catch a Disruptor. There we go. Oh my god. It's a worthwhile trade for HonMonO. Bleeding out a handful of bio units for a Disruptor. Oh, but here comes the move out. Azura close to maxing. I mean, this could just be an answer to these Liberators, is if we go for an Archon heavy composition, we can just tank the shots. And just force our way up the ramp. There's not a lot of finesse to it. Not the cleanest approach, but it could work. The downside, of course, being EMPs and ghosts, as we are making 3 ghosts at a time. Can EMP and shut down the main army. For now, Azura moving out. We are going to be moving out again. Here comes the Freedom. How many Libs? 5? A decent amount. Not as big as 14 that we had last game. Not as much. We can see HonMonO gaining ground at the same time. Azura going for a massive counterattack. Pushing into a planetary. Nice EMP. Was it being pulled? Storm of the Ghost. But the repairs are solid at the same time. We dive on the main army. Massive EMPs once again. Oh my god. We get a massive storm though. Yeah, we run into the storm, a massive connection. But we break through the main army nonetheless. Meanwhile, across the map, the planetary is still barely holding on. The repairs are enough. Oh, siege up, Bappy, siege up. Oh, as HonMonO, he's lacking a little bit of control here, but there we go. Does siege up his Libs. And it will shut down the Stalker army. He's breaking through the front lines. At the same time, the planetary holds. The planetary stands strong. And HonMonO, looks like he has done it. He breaks through the main army. Meanwhile, the counterattack does not get any damage done. Gets stopped by planetary and SCVs. And HonMonO, he breaks the 4th, the 3rd, and now is going straight for the main. A GG gets called, and HonMonO will claw his way back into this and take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. HonMonO does take the series 2-0 and will advance on to the next round. Congratulations. Oh. Here we go. GG, well played. HonMonO does take down Azura 2-0, does advance on to the next round, and we'll be following HonMonO into that next series. Meanwhile, catching up in the chat.